Hello, everyone. Oh my goodness, Colonel is here. Jack, I could see from the distance that there is a, a friend on the system, but I couldn't read it. Now I can see it was you all along. How are you, dear? And Explorer says, hi, may I ask what is your horoscope, Meron? Oh, sure, you may, but you may not get the answer. Listen, first, remind me of your age, gender, where you're tuning in from, like Jack hasn't done, which I just because he knows that I know him. However, and then G10 there, the same with you, age, gender, where you're tuning in from. And by all means, explore. I'd be more than happy to tell you what my horoscope is if I know. That would be something to find out, I guess. Jack, what are you doing up so late? Isn't it 2 o'clock in the morning there? Explorer says 42 male Zurich. Oh, Zurich. So is it what? Zurich is the French side, yeah? Switzerland, right? But it's on the French side. In 19, what was it? In 2000, was it? Not sure. I went to Mannheim and then I went to, maybe that was Zurich, German side. Yeah, German side. That's right. Yeah, I remember now. I went to Zurich. I had some thing to do there. I took a train from Mannheim, and it was nice. It was very nice. I loved it. My father used to live in Switzerland, and he used to go to Zurich and all that a lot. Stayed there for months. He was working there actually. He was a lawyer, and so he was representing some Swiss corporation at the time. So, coming back to your question, my sign is Libra, October 3rd, 1955. When I calculated recently, it came to October 3rd, but for a long time, and all my documents shows October 2nd. But I don't know. There's some difference in the calendar when you translate it. So anyhow, anytime of that sort. I'm Libra. Let's put it this way. Jitender says 26 male India. Thank you for that. And in Lugani says Salam Mehran. Salam in Lugani. 24 male London. Thank you for that. X at Taz says, I'm recovering from HOCD thanks to you. When I have those thoughts, I just ignore it and do my work. That's my boy. That's how it's done. You cannot stop thoughts, and you shouldn't want to stop thoughts because that's how it works. It makes thoughts. That's what the brain does. But your power is not stopping or taking the suggestions of the brain. Your power is in veto and selection, vetoes and choices, meaning you're the ultimate power. Doesn't matter how many things is presented to you, you are the one who decides if any of these offers or presentations would be accepted or noticed or paid attention to or not given it the chance to see the light of day and just pass by. Simple. We all have that power in our daily lives. so many things happen, so many people say things, so many offers are suggested, so many mean things are being thrown at us, so many things that do not meet our values are thrown at us, including by our own brain. It's our brain, but it doesn't work for us all the time. It's an apparatus, it's an independent system. We use it to advance our life. It's an apparatus for us to use, but it itself also does processing on its own. Being under our control does not mean that it would stop processing until we tell it. No, it means that it processes all the time, 24/7, for your convenience, because you are the one who decides which thought, which process is of any use, meeting any of your values, that you will have any use for it or not. So it does its job. You do your selections based on what is available. Its job is to make it available. It's like water in the river is available, but your job is you decide which field it goes to, which field it doesn't. So in other words, you direct it. And instead of directing the thought in this case, you direct your attention to what it is that you want to direct. Because whatever you direct your attention to automatically diverses your attention from what you don't want to pay attention to. Instead of trying to avoid paying attention to something, simple way is to focus your attention to something that you want to pay attention to. By focusing your attention, directing your attention to what you want to focus on that meets your values and you're interested to accomplish it or learn it or see it through, automatically it does what it is that you actually want done, which is not to be annoyed by things that are of no interest to you. So instead of trying to press them, oppose them, shut them down, destroy them, kill them, no need for that energy. Because it's a machine that constantly makes thoughts. You keep stopping them and destroying them, avoiding them, resenting them, they keep making, because they don't know why you resent them. They don't have an entity. They're not living beings. They're machine. They make thoughts. Anything that possibly can be turned into thoughts, they make it. So you're wasting your energy for something futile that it can be done much simpler than that. How? By ignoring it. How? By paying attention to what it is that you want to pay attention and meets your values. That automatically does two things. First of all, gets what you want done, and also makes what you don't want to pay attention to disappear. Because your attention is everything. Your attention gives life to your life. Your attention is shining light in something that you want to see, which avoids and takes away light from what you don't want to be visible or seen or paid attention to. You have a spotlight. You put on anything, that's all that's going to be seen. You don't have to stop all the animals and dirt and garbage and shit and things that are in the jungle or wherever they are. You just shine the light on the flowers and the trees and the roads and the horses and the things that you like to enjoy. And it's all meets your values. So that's all it's going to be shown in your world. Because that's all it is. Your attention makes the world. Life is an illusion. Reality is what you focus on. Let me say it again. Life is an illusion. Reality is the illusion you focus on. So whatever you don't focus on doesn't exist. Whatever you focus on, then you think it exists. Which actually, many things that we focus on don't exist. But because you're focusing on it, you're bamboozled to think that it must exist because I'm focusing on it. So all you have to do is take your focus away from the things that are shit to you and don't meet your value, and then focus it on the things that meets your value. Automatically, two things, it takes place. One, you get things done and you enjoy your life, and the other one is the things that annoys you doesn't show up because you're not paying attention to them. You're not shining light to it. So it will stay, never see the light of day. So it cannot be presented. when it's not being noticed. So take your notice away, your life will be free. In other words, focus on what you like and your life will be free from nonsense, whatever it is that may bother you, that doesn't meet your values. Simple, simple, very simple. All right. And Explorer says, if you can tell us your birth month and date, we can find your horoscope. Yeah, I did, didn't I? October 2nd or 3rd, 1955. I'm Libra, balance. So, Explorer says Switzerland is beautiful. Yes, it is. You know, my father lived in Switzerland, and when he came to Canada, he said, Canada looks like Switzerland, only bigger. It's a bigger version of Switzerland. And the Lugani says, broke up with my long-distance Greek girlfriend. She blocked me on everything. I feel the need to seek closure, but know I need to move on. You want closure because you want affirmation that you're a good guy. What you did, it's not because of you, because of differences, because of her and all that. Well, I just trimmed a short video, 3 minutes, that is just about that, which I'm sure you'll enjoy. It'll be released tonight at 4 a.m. It's just 3 minutes, and title is, what's the title? This, something to do with validation. Let me look. Let me look. Look. The name is Your Validation Does Not Come From Your Ex. How interesting. So, be on the lookout for that. And then the Lugani says, I feel I need to seek closure. No, you don't. Closure? What closure? What, closure for what? What do you mean? Closure? You think you have to have closure. What does closure mean? Oh, you're a good person. It's like Seinfeld. George always said, it's not you, it's me. Why do you need that? Who is that person to give you closure? Okay, she's eating her own shit. Meaning at one time she was into you and now she's blocked you, trying to say what? That she doesn't value her own choices? You were her choice for so long, or whatever long it was. Now suddenly she's trying to undo her choice, which is so stupid. So like, you know, trying to say that I didn't exist. Well, life is about learning and growing. So you grow with the mistakes and challenges that you face with. And when you deal with them and learn how to deal with them, you increase your value by your knowledge about your own psyche and, you know, the situations that may be thrown at you or you may be facing within life. And that gives you that level of wisdom and, you know, elevating your understanding and your expertise to be the mechanic of your machine and travel on this journey of life. So, you don't need any closure. And he says, but no, now I need to move on. Yeah, you do. Because she's not end all be all. She's just another human being who bought. Look, you know, today she liked almonds and she scrambled everywhere to find almonds, chocolate almonds, almonds with chocolate, I don't know, chocolates with almonds in it. That's what she liked. A month from now, she doesn't like almonds. Does that make any difference to almonds' nutritional values and taste and what it stands for? No, it just means she is not appreciating almonds, but almonds is still as amazing, nutrition, healthy, and good food as it ever was. Doesn't do anything to almond whether she chooses it or not. She is simply depriving herself from almond. So be it. Almond doesn't change. Almond doesn't matter it to itself. Almond doesn't mind. It's still almond. She's not getting the almond. That's all. Now, your problem is that you think she's almond. I want you to think that you're the almond. Nothing changes in you. She is just being deprived from what she was having or could be having for whatever reason. I don't care. But you don't change. Your values don't change. You don't need closure. You don't need affirmation. You're still damn almond that everybody could seek, and still nutritious. It's still good person you are, still good values you have, still all that is intact. She couldn't walk away with your qualities. She walked away with her qualities. That's all. But you're still intact. And you just offer who you are to another person. And I'm sure if they've got any sense, they'd like almonds. That's how you should think of it. All right. He says, I did promise that she could come to London, but now that is gone. Why should you promise you could come to London? What? Listen, just understand that the human being in a long distance relationship, she's looking for a deal, and this turned out to be a long distance deal. She might have found something closer to home, more convenient, so she doesn't have to wait or all that, you know. That's it. So let it be. It's got nothing to do with you. Other people's decisions do not define you. Understand that. When you have your own affirmation and validity coming from you, then you don't need to be like a yo-yo up and down depending on other people's choices and decisions and, you know, whatever it is that they're into. All right. But they still come at a low rate. Zatra says, yeah, okay, they can come. That's all right. Yes, in the Lagani, that's correct. Yeah. Aman says you're same age as Steve Jobs. Yeah, in fact it is. When I noticed a long time ago, you know, Steve Jobs actually, not that I can compare myself to him. He was a genius in his own right, but he went to Reed College, I believe, which was a sister college to us. Like we were invited to Reed College, was across the river from us, I guess, to visit, have a one-day, experience there, and we did. And that was the same time, I think, that we were both in college. But the difference is huge. What he made out of himself and what I have. I'm still hoping for more viewers. We've got 11, but I think he had 11 billion. So there are changes. However, we are the same age. Sure. Okay. And then Atif says, hi Mehran, 38, male, New York City. Thank you, Atif. Ash says, hey Mehran and everyone else, for once HOCD has taken a back seat and I have different questions for you. Yeah, that's great. I was thinking about having separating the sessions. And one session would be just live Q&A, breakup relationships, and the other session would be intrusive thoughts included. So I'm going to keep the breakups, the relationship in the intrusive thoughts, OCD, HOCD live streams, but there would be one dedicated only to relationships, because that's what we always had, just relationships. We don't want to lose that clientele. We don't want to, kind of ignore that which the whole channel is based on. And so Ash says, as you know, I've been talking to a girl for a little while. Tonight she admitted she does find me very attractive and even want me to fold her up sexually. Oh, good. Okay. She's still playing hot and cold. We haven't met yet, and that's what I'm trying to arrange. Is this just a matter of patience again, or is she telling me this shit to string me along for attraction? Who cares? You're a man. We're designed to be rejected, be played with, and don't give a fuck. Because we're men. If we don't risk it, we won't attain the achievements that we have achieved in life. Without risking your life or health, you put it on the line. So what? She's going to string you along. So what? She's a girl, you like her, she likes you, or she says she likes you. Enjoy it. If she was real, that's also another way to find out if she's real or not. The sooner the better. If she's stringing you along, okay, it's an enjoyable ride. I mean, we don't mind to be strung along. If she's pretty enough and good qualities enough, why not? And if it turns out to be that she was genuine, great. If she wasn't, well, it was a nice ride. Next. It's not end all be all. She's just another human being. It's not God. All right. And it says also, if anyone in here needs extra advice on HOCD, feel free to ask me any question as well. I help however I can. However I can. I think that's what it means. Where is it? I lost it. However I can. Oh, I see. Okay. So I shouldn't be reading everything. I guess they can read what you're saying. I'm actually advertising your help. I'm sure they can read it. No, Ash. Yeah, you say HOCD ruined my dating life. Yeah, but you know what? There's a brilliant psychotherapist, I forgot his name. He said it, and he said it correctly. He said, when you get attacked by HOCD, it's terrible, it bothers you and all that, but when you come out of it, you're better and stronger heterosexual, better and stronger, wiser person. Because the jig is up and you get the knowledge that you could have never gotten. That strengthens your wisdom and your clarity about how the brain works and how these things are irrelevant. Because you dealt with it. No longer is a threat. Because threat is actually illusionary. There's no threat. But because it's so important to us, we react to it with anxiety and protectiveness and so on and so forth and the rest of it. But once you figure it out, that this is just mental thing, nothing changes in your biology, it's a glitch and malfunction of signaling system of the brain, then you will learn all these knowledge, and no longer it has that mysterious power. It doesn't, because you don't get fooled by it anymore. That's what makes you stronger, heftier, heterosexual, clear in your approach to life, and you're not bamboozled or threatened by any thought that shows up, because you understand this is thought. That's what the brain does. But I have been here for a million years before my brain could think or speak, and I will still be here when my brain doesn't work. As the experiment of Dr. Owen, neurosurgeon, shows that even a person in a vegetative state, which everybody thinks his brain is smashed through an accident and cannot really be aware of anything, 20% of all those, or bigger percentage, I don't know, of those people in vegetative state that everybody thinks the brain doesn't work, the brain is fully aware, because it's not the brain that makes you. There's a you in there that is beyond the brain. Even the brain is shown that is totally destroyed, but the intellect, through the experiments that they've done, is there. Where is that? That's not in the brain. That's why you're not the brain. Brain is not you. What brain conjures up about all these things, sexuality and gender and all these confusions that it creates, is just that, thoughts. Nothing changes in you. When you understand all these things, when you deal with it, and this knowledge helps you become a person with more clarity and better than ever before. So don't say that it may have, destroyed your dating time days for that period that you're dealing with it, but eventually you become just a better person than ever you were. And I agree with that. All right. Dart based or Bassett says, are you Star Wars Theory's father? Star Wars Theory's father? Are you talking about the scene in the Star Wars where Darth Vader says, I am your father? No. Mysteries are extremely interesting in life. I don't know what you're talking about, but I am everyone's father. I know that channel. It's a great channel. I'm a fan. Definitely a fan. Mass says, yeah, okay, Mass talking to Ash. Explore with Isko says, I've been through a tough time after 7 years marriage. Who wouldn't be? I hope your wife can't hear, because I'll be in trouble. It takes a real man to be in a marriage for 7 years. These women today are not the women of yesterday. They're in many ways better, stronger, wiser, more educated, and in many ways it's just just horrific experience. Because most women today, they are not proud of who they are. They're not proud of the woman that they are. How amazing it is, what their efforts and what their contribution to a family is, the center of love and the strength of the family, the nurturing kind, the kind that keeps everything together. Women's place in the world is so special and important to everybody but the women today. Most women today don't understand their importance. That's why they've turned into doing what the men do. Stupid. We're different. Women are different from men. Men are different from women. And that's the beauty of it. That's why we're attracted to each other. And that's why it works when women love to be women and still not the same woman of 500 years ago, more educated, capable, can accomplish anything, and persevere in their goals. That's perfectly fine. But they still can stay as beautifully as the women of 100 years ago. That femininity, that nurturing, that care, that what makes the whole universe go around. And the center of family is based on them, but they don't understand how important their role is. They think it's all about, I don't know, feminism and make yourself strong and, not caring and pay attention to all kinds of political stuff. You can have your own views as any other human being does, but don't forget your importance to begin with. Universe created you different with different emotional capabilities and needs and different abilities that we men can never match up. And that's why you've been made different, because your importance is to be different. But you're trying to forget about all that importance that nature has put into you and trying to modify yourself to something that it's not fucking gonna work. Because we don't jive once you change yourself toward all these human topics that are being injected in you to change your mentality rather than understanding and having capabilities of advancing in all these opinions and scientific finds and research and so on, that you're perfectly capable like any other human being, but also keeping that what is making the world go around. You're losing that to gain something that is not really going to help the survival of humanity and all that beautiful emotions and motivations and support that can only come from a woman. You're buying into some bullshit that these political different sects and sides with different agendas have made. And you're losing the most beautiful, most powerful credentials that you have, qualities that you have. I'm not supposed to be the one to tell you how to protect yourselves and your values. But all I say is don't allow the world to change you, because that same world cannot exist without real women. And real women are the ones who should be categorized as endangered species, as far as I'm concerned, by their own hands, because they're buying into bullshits that is really altering the quality of families and quality of life. There should be a balance. You can advance to anything, most anything that men can do, and men can advance themselves and do most anything that women. But there are certain things that, we can't do as good as you guys can, and you guys can't do as good as we can for the life of me and for a million years. Why do you try to change yourself when you're so amazingly appreciated and loved and are special and powerful? Instead of enhancing your abilities and your powers, you're trying to let that go and become like what? Like us? If we were that good, what the fuck? The rest of it is just history. You know, it's a combination. You don't see any I don't know, female animal trying to be like the male animal, or the male animal trying to be like a female animal. And this fucking thing is going on in the world right now that is confusing the hell out of all people, young and old, and it's bullshit. You know. Anyhow, I come from that kind of a belief. You know, men are men and women are women. They can share and learn and accomplish anything they want, but they should still remember who they are and what their powers are, what their specialities are, why it is the way it is in the nature. Anyhow, let's go from there. All right. Explore with Isco says, I have been through tough time after 7 years married separation, but I'm not sure if I was a heartbreak, if it was a heartbreak or an ego problem. Is there a way to differentiate heartbreak from ego? Well, let me know, what do you think heartbreak is? I mean, is it actually a heartbreak because you've lost your woman? Or is it because you lost the order of life? Like you and your woman were so compatible and perfect together that there was no problems between you two, and you were, working together like a Swiss watch, all synchronized. Is that what you miss? Or is it the fact that you had a certain order in life before you met her, through certain mechanical processes, meaning you would get up, I don't know, have your tea or coffee, wash up, go out, take the bus, go to school or go to work, then go to gym or go to meet your friends, and different things that you were doing. It's called mechanical processes. And through that mechanical processes, you would create a routine, and that routine would create an order in life. And that order is where your mind would find security, because mind doesn't find its security like the rest of your body, your physical entity does. Your physical portion of your life, your body, your hands, your everything else finds its security in physical environment. When you know where your limbs are, they're all here, and I'm in my own home and the door is locked, I'm in good part of town. Physicality environment brings that security for your physical being. But the mind doesn't find its security in the same physical environment where your body finds its security. The mind finds its security in the order of life, in the routine of life. So when you met her and she met you, both of you had a certain kind of an order in life because you were single. But then together you amalgamated it and compromised, and through the years you came about a certain kind of activities, mechanical processes, which in turn turned into a certain kind of routine during the day, whether doing it together or individually, but affecting each other according to what it is that you were going to accomplish that day. And all that together created a new order. Your old order of single life went away, and the new order between the two was the dominant order, was the order where your minds would find security in it. Now, when you break up, this order breaks up. She's not there, you're not there, so the things that you used to do together is not going to be happening together anymore. Therefore, the rhythm changes, the routines changes, no longer the same order takes place. That's why your mind doesn't find the security that it's looking for every day anymore, because the order is broken and it used to find its security in the order. And then you miss her. But is it you miss her or you miss the order? Because your mind is not secure anymore, doesn't find security because the order is broken, you go into the memory. You're constantly in the memory. Why? Because in the memory, the echo, the recording of the order, how things used to be smoothly run, is there. So your mind goes in there and finds security in the recording of that order. While you're in there, who else is in there? Your ex. So you think you're missing the X because you feel good when you're in the memory. You think you feel good because she's in the, because you're thinking of her. No, you feel good because your mind finds security in the recording of the order that you're experiencing in the memory. That is why you feel good. But because she's also there, you think you feel good because she's there. Therefore you think, oh, I can't have security if she's not there. No, you can't have security because the order is broken. So go make a new order. Create new mechanical processes for yourself, things you like to do, things you like to accomplish, things you like to learn. Be positive, productive in your life. And through those experiences and those activities, you create new sets of mechanical processes, which creates new routines, which creates new order. And then in that order, the mind finds security again, settles down. You no longer go into the memory. You no longer think that it's her that is destroyed or makes your life not balanced. You find your balance in the new order, and that's what you should be doing. And that's what is probably bugging you. It's not ego, it's nothing, it's, ego maybe, but ego is not an organ. You don't have to comply to it. You have to learn that it's just a program, and then you can just do without it. Patrick says, does meditation reduce the amount of intrusive? Yes, it does, because meditation allows about 30% more GABA neurotransmitters. GABA neurotransmitters are now found to be responsible for being anti-anxiety, anti-depression, and help with the management of intrusive thoughts. So meditation is a natural way of creating more GABA neurotransmitters. Yes, it's very important. And Ash says, yeah, that's a good advice, Miram, but I meant stringing me along for attention. So what? Every girl wants to get attention, who's available or wants to get attention. So give the attention. No skin off of your nose. What are you holding that attention for? For who? Look, don't be afraid. You like someone, tell them I like you. Life is short. There would be years pass by and say, I should have told that girl that I think she's beautiful. Well, if it's called for and it's the right proper setting, she doesn't feel uncomfortable about it, you can feel it, say it. But it doesn't mean you should say it now. And you don't have to play too much game, but you don't have to also bend over backward just to kind of suck up to her either. Girls don't like to be sucked up to. Just be nice, but be tough. And be balanced. I know you're desperate right now. But you don't have to show that, As British say, keep stiff upper lips. Don't ever let them see you bleeding. And that goes for anything. Now, I'm not talking about girls not see you bleeding, meaning hurting or desperate. I'm talking about in every situation in life. You do a deal, you do a business transaction, whatever it is that you do, don't let them see you bleeding. The moment they see you bleeding, hurting, they'll come to kill. They'll come to hurt you, because most human beings are assholes. They have the name human being, but they don't have the humanity in them, the qualifications to be human. They're assholes. They're frightened losers that they gain in their own mind some kind of a satisfaction by finding something that they could prey on, destroy something, chisel something down, be condescending, be negative, be disruptive. Don't you see many trolls show up? Why? Because they're losers. They can't accomplish anything. Their accomplishment is if they can bring somebody else's mood or balance off. that they think that has made them go high. You know, as I always said, there's two ways of having the tallest building in town. One is to destroy all other buildings. Then suddenly your building, without having done anything, is the tallest. This is what the losers do, because they don't have a capability of building their own tower. And the other one is to keep building your tower, then eventually become as tall as you want it to be, maybe taller than the other buildings in town. But trolls, losers, people of negative qualities, they don't have that talent. They cannot make anything out of themselves. They cannot contribute positively to society. So what they do, how can they feel good about themselves? They find somebody who's better than them, they bully them. They find somebody better than them, they troll them. They find somebody who's accomplishing things, they antagonize it. They hate something. These are all their own reaction to their lack of quality. So, this is what you don't want to fall into. Where was I going with this? So, I don't mean to, for sex, it's one to me long, okay. All right. Smiley says, did you do martial arts? Yes, I did. Dart base's comment is deleted. Dart base is a good person. Why did you delete him? Was it not good? Okay, I guess you have your judgment. I don't know. I think he's a Star Wars fan. So Star Wars fans can't be all that bad. Ash says, and yeah, the girl I'm speaking to is absolutely beautiful, but don't tell her I said that. Okay, all right. All right. Alfred Tan says, Alfred, where is gender, age, and where you're tuning in from? I need that before I get to your question. That's the least I would need to know. Age, gender, where you're tuning from. So I'll get to that, Alfred, as soon as I have that, if you don't mind. Kuzan says, do OCD. Kuzan, I need age, gender, and where you're tuning in from. Explore says, it is the order I miss. I can say that. Meran, your videos help me so much. Thank you a million times. You're quite welcome. If you guys really mean it and you really want to thank me, honestly, if you really do, understand that this channel has over 2,500 videos, all geared to help people with their breakups, emotional hardships, mental challenges, OCD, HOCD, whatnot. Lots of time and effort and love has gone into trying to interpret and explain all these movements of the psyche that we all have, we all share. So if you think it's valuable, please do share the videos on your social media. Talk about it on different chat lines and whatnot. Make this channel visible. It doesn't make sense that we only have 22,000 subscribers when thousands of people have actually viewed our videos and benefited from, and every one of you see and know that the content here and what we talked about is hardly talked anywhere else. Whether they want to get paid for it and they don't, or they just don't know it, which I think is the latter. Not too many people have had the interest for years to research on masters of hundreds of years ago and understand the movement of psyche and combine it with the understanding of the neuroscience and experiments done by famous Nobel Prize winning echelon of research of different neuroscientists in the world, and combine it with today's the modern time science, and be able to deliver it in such a way that we can all become a little bit more clear and wiser about the movement of our psyche, and become more equipped to deal with all these challenges, whether it's emotional or mental. So if that's the case, please, God damn it, help the channel and promote it. I'd appreciate it. And just for the ones who really would want to take this seriously, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a short video, which is you can share it on your social media and help us to grow by letting people know that this channel has a live stream. And here's the link for you. You can use this, and you can choose any other video that I have that you like that explains what the channel is all about, and promote that. I'd be grateful. Otherwise, we wither and die and nobody will hear about us. All right. Tambi says, hello, uncle, how are you? Hello, Tambi. Where the hell have you been? And for the benefit of everybody else, let them know your gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. You're still in Qatar, are you? And so bring us up to date. What's happening with you? And Ash says, Mehran, she hasn't seen me bleed. Okay, good. I'm a mountain to her. Okay, good. Keep it that way. But I have these thoughts about it, which I'm sharing with you. I think I can handle it fine. Just wanted your viewpoint. Yeah, the viewpoint is keep stiff upper lips. And don't let her see you bleeding and how hungry you are for her. Because women are no different. They're human beings, and they're not necessarily all confident, like many of us. And so when they see so much interest is coming towards them, instead of appreciating, some who are strong will appreciate and love it and reciprocate. Some who are not confident or strong, they'll say, why is this person paying so much attention to me when I know I'm not really that great? Because they don't see themselves necessarily sexually as we see them, and we think they're hot, therefore they're qualified in every way, shape, or form, and we don't go any further than that. They're smarter than that about themselves, and they analyze themselves, and they see they're possibly empty. They don't have much to offer. So they wonder, why is this person thinks of me so valuable when I know I'm not much? I haven't accomplished anything in life. So if he thinks I'm so much, but I know I'm not much, that means he's not much. Because of that, I don't want him. She'll lose interest. So don't give too much compliment, but do enough that she would feel it's a place where she can fulfill her need for affirmation. At the same time, allow her to open up and let her speak. There was an experience done in a communication course that a person C, let's say, a person C, we mark it with C, sat in a room, in a chair, alone, and then a person A was sent into the room. The person A talked about, himself or herself for about 10-15 minutes, told person C sitting in the room everything about his childhood, everything about his schooling, his interests. So really introduced himself to the person who was sitting in the room. Then person A left, and the person B was sent into the room. The person B said a few things about himself, and then let person C, who was sitting in the room, the target, talk about himself for about 10-15 minutes. So pretty much person C didn't know anything about person B other than the name and a little bit. But person C knew everything about person A because he introduced himself to person C thoroughly for 15 minutes. When they all left and they asked person C, which one do you think you like more and trust more? He chose person B that he didn't know much about. Why? Because person B let him talk, let him express himself, his needs, his fears, his situation. So he thought person B knows him well. And to each person, what's important is if that person that is my counter, piece or whatever it is, knows me well. Everybody wants to be known. Their feelings must be known. So it's not about how much you know about them. It's not about how much you tell them about you. It's about how much they can tell you about themselves. So come up with the conversations that would be of interest to her, that she wants to elaborate on it, that she wants to tell you her experiences. Let her talk about herself. Let her talk about what she does, what she likes, experiences about things that you find in common or you find it's interesting to her. Let her introduce herself to you through her own talking. That's the kind of information that that's the kind of a conversation that you can encourage, and that will make her actually, I think, like you more. That's what I think. And Dirty Dasher says, when should I disclose a woman I am dating that I take antidepressant? In time. No need for these information, because it's not a handicap that you take antidepressant. It's a neurotransmitters that is needs to be supported. It's like me dating someone and then I say to her, oh, by the way, I take grapeseed extract, I take alpha lipoic acid, I take antioxidants, because I think the food that I eat every day is not enough. Unnecessary. Every one of us takes something. So you wouldn't worry about it. Who knows? Maybe she's taking it too. I mean, that's not something you should be focused on. I know you want to be honest and all, but that's not something that is any of her business at the time. Let's see if you like her, if she qualifies. But you've already qualified her to the point that say, I gotta disclose everything. Or today I went on a John and it was loose. My stool was not good because I didn't. These are the intimate things that you don't need to share. None of her business. I have a little cramp in my tongue. I have to go to the work. So now. So when it's later on, when you guys get a little bit closer, and the topic comes, you're not supposed to volunteer these personal things. It's not about honesty. It's none of her business. When it becomes her business, if it affects your behavior, then you tell her, I was a bit depressed. That's it. That's what I think. When the topic comes up, you say, yeah, I was depressed, so I'm taking antidepressant, it helps me. But not now. Not necessary. Your third date play is not a fucking test that you're supposed to be there to be examined and qualified in her views. No, you focus on qualifying her. Does she qualify to be your girlfriend? Does she offer something other than her body? We're all turned on the beautiful body, but that's not a qualification. It's not her accomplishment. She was born that way. The accomplishment is what is she bringing with her consciousness into this program, into this relationship? What is she bringing to the table? How is she going to be a helpful hand to build something on a certain foundation? What? That's not her body. Means nothing. What makes that body behave the way it does and move and does what it does? What is that all about? Here. That's what you want to find out. You qualify her. Don't focus on, oh, I gotta tell her this so she knows I'm honest, so she will be trusting me. No, there's no reason for that. Has she been telling you what kind of, uh, I don't know, vagina cleanser she's using? Maybe she's got some infection right now. Maybe she's got some, I don't know, something that but it's none of your business. And the same thing. With this down there or up here, you take a pill for at the moment is not necessary. Everything in its own place, you know. It's like going to a store and saying, "Oh, sir, this is how much money I have. Can I look around?" It's none of the clerk's business how much money you got in your pocket. You know? Maybe you'll bring more money if you find something you like. So that disclosure is not necessary at the moment. Alfred says Malaysia 27. Says I'm from Malaysia and 27 years old. Okay, thank you for that, Alfred. So I'll go back to your Okay, so let's go to Alfred, 27 from Malaysia. Alfred, where are you? Oh, there it is. Alfred says, my sexual activity with my girlfriend is normal. And in fact, I enjoy that, but I can't get my mind free from those thoughts that are telling me, hey, you're gay. Fuck. What the hell? Why do you pay attention to some stupid brain? What do you think brain is? The problem with you is that you don't think brain is a machine. You think brain is your intellect. That's not true. If you watch my video, are you or the brain is the you? I'll put the link up here. It will clearly, beyond the shadow of a doubt, show you with the experiences that neurosurgeons have done, namely Dr. Roger Speary, Dr. Wilder Penfield of Montreal. These are all from 1930s and 1970s and 1960s and 1970s, 1960s and 1970s. And Dr. Owen and Dr. Leibet, they show you with their experiments of Nobel Prize echelon experiences in neurosurgery that brain cannot reach you, and you are not the brain and brain is not you. You're beyond the brain, and there are aspects of your mind, of you, that the brain cannot reach. Therefore, thinking that the brain is your intellect is why you guys believe or fall into bullshit of the brain creating these intrusive thoughts, that you're gay, your gender is changed. Or if you're gay, it says you're straight and your gender is changed. Any sexuality that you have, you could have intrusive thoughts and HOCD, sexual orientation OCD. It is not limited to heterosexuals. This is a mental malfunction. Malfunction of the signaling system, specifically caudate nucleus in the basal ganglia, and it's part of the striatum in the midbrain that is supposed to automatically shut down the intrusive thoughts as they appear, which are against your values and value system and your inclination, and it's supposed to shut it down automatically. That's why it's there. But when it malfunctions, these intrusive thoughts that are always there, but they keep getting shut down and selected because the caudate nucleus does its job automatically. When it doesn't do its job, these thoughts are constantly being produced anyhow, and then they hover. When they hover, you see them all the time. And you think, oh, it means something. It means nothing. It means there's a fucking malfunction in the brain. So as I explained in my other videos, then by your behavior and not paying attention to them and staying focused on what it is that your values are all about, what it is that you want to accomplish, what it is that is your preferences, then you simply ignore these thoughts and keep going. And through this behavior, these signals properly get to prefrontal cortex and eventually helps to rewire your brain through neuroplasticity and eventually the caudate nucleus glitches back on and starts working after a while. And if they ever showed up again, you know what they are, so you won't be scared or threatened or bamboozled anymore, because you know how the mechanics of it works. So these are no deities, or there are no signals, there are no nothing, none of that shit. It's just thoughts, and that's what the job of the brain is, to make thoughts. It makes any kind of thoughts. Whatever information has seeped through your consciousness, that it's in the world, and the brains, all brains in the world, get to know about it through mediums and internets and television and all the other publications, so on. They get to know about all these different lifestyles, and then the brain picks it up and makes thoughts with it. That's what its job is. It doesn't know what it does, but it just makes thoughts. You, on the other hand, are the one who understands and has a mechanism to shut these thoughts. In other words, move away from them and focus on what you want to do. When it doesn't do automatically, you do it manually, by your command, by your power of vetoes and selections, vetoes and choices. Paying attention to what? Which automatically stops paying attention to something that you don't want to pay attention to. So you keep paying attention to what it is that you want to accomplish. Automatically, these things will fall by the wayside, and you go on about your business, and eventually it rewires your brain through neuroplasticity, and things you start to managing, negotiating it automatically, even though it's manual now, until everything clicks back to place. So what was I here to do? I was going to get you that were you, let's see. There it is. So this is what you want to watch in order to understand it a little bit with more detail than I just said. And then you can see why the brain that you're actually believing these thoughts, it's not intellect, it's just a machine spits out thoughts. And many of these thoughts are intrusive thoughts, because it's about anxiety and it's about protectiveness of your values. So whenever it latches onto something negative to your values, it attacks you with it in order to keep you alert and all that. And when it goes rogues and out of control, it does it more than it's necessary to do. And that creates a problem for you, because you think, oh, it's always there, it must mean something. No, it just means something is broken. Meaning, don't give a shit. That's all. That's what you do. It's like you walk in the street, somebody keeps saying nonsense. What do? First you get upset and you try to respond to them, and then afterwards you say, well, that's because it's crazy. The guy is crazy, saying shit. I don't have to pay attention to waste my energy. You just keep going. And after a while you keep going, you pay no attention, the guy shuts up, because he says there is no interaction. He can't get a rise out of you, you can't get upset, so he feels that he's being just talking to air. That's when it stops. So don't be sensitive about it. Don't be sensitive about it. Okay. Ash says, agree with you 100%, Mehran. Women and men are entirely different, and for good reasons. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Alfred. No panic needed. Just, they have no power. You have all the power in the world. You're the power. You're the only power in the world, in your entity, in your life, in your existence, that can allow some thought to become an action or never see the light of day. That's only within your power, not in the brain's power. As powerful as the brain is, that can make you believe any kind of shit, but the ultimate power is in your hand, which can ignore, allow something to become an action or actuality, or never see the light of day and die where it pops up by ignoring it. That's the ultimate power. Brain doesn't have that. In fact, if you focus on, if you watch the video that I sent you, on the experiment that Dr. Leibet has done, it's amazing. It's amazing that when it actually measures the electromagnetic field around the brain when the subjects are to make a decision, there is a spike in the brain about half a second before a decision is made. Huh? Which is very interesting. You gotta watch it. I don't want to give it away. But then, when he actually asks them to veto that thought, suggestion that came on, that was made, even by them, by themselves was made, in the veto and choices that you make, there is no electromagnetic field active at all in the brain. Brain is not involved. So in selections and vetoes, brain has no role. In suggestions or the thoughts that is created, brain can have a spike and involvement before you make the decisions. It shows in the experiment. But when you actually come into the picture and veto it or choose it, in that, there is no brain activity, which means brain cannot reach who is making the decisions. That is you. I have many videos that is blow you out of the water if you really focus on what I've tried to describe to you. The separation of brain, thoughts, and you is what puts you at ease and puts you sets you free. But you have to understand how it works. And when you watch those videos, it shows you how clearly you can see that the roots of thoughts are outside of you. And if it's outside of you, how could outside know more about you than you know from inside? So the brain's thoughts, its roots is set outside of you, cannot actually be accurate, especially in the form of the intrusive thoughts. And in the other videos, I've proven the fact that the me, is outside of the brain, is an observer to the brain and not part of the brain. And that's what you can use, in fact, to stop brain's bullshit. Because once you set an observer for the brain, which is you, and is separate from the brain, then the brain starts behaving like the experiment that was done in quantum physics, which I have also explained that information. Actually, that experiment is on internet. I'll put the link down there so you can watch it. So anyhow, all these information will help you to understand your brain better and become stronger in understanding how the psyche moves and never be bamboozled with the bullshit that the brain produces, regardless of anything, any decision or any offering or any suggestions, including any modification to your gender or your inclination or sexual preference, and all that bullshit cannot have any effect on you anymore, because you have understood how this apparatus works and the connections and malfunctions between these equipment. All right. And Kuzan Chan says, Kuzan, I need information before I can explain. I need gender, age, where you're tuning in from. I'd appreciate that. Oh, did I put that link in here? Did I forget? Is it the link? Where's that link? Ash, let me see comments of Dart Bassett, because I don't think he's a troll or anything. I just want to see what he says. I think he's a nice guy. Just let me see it if he does put a comment. All right. Okay, let's see. Uh, WLF Wolf, is it? I need protocol first. Um, Age, gender, where you're tuning in from. Guys, there will be no communication from me this side if I don't know how old you are, what gender you are, and so I can address you properly. If you're too young, or if you're, I don't know, I gotta know the age to appropriately address you, and at the same time, where you're tuning in from. So it gives me some cultural background, if you will. Ash says you're a genius, Maron. Oh, yes. Well, where? How? Says your philosophy on women is almost identical to mine. That's why I'm genius. Who said you are? But your word is different. You word it differently. You're basically saying don't shower her with desperation or affection because she'll smell the neediness. Yes. Don't worry. I'm smoother than a baby's ass. Okay, let's talk about baby's nose. I got this. Okay, good. Uh, Personal life is always themselves. Yeah, yeah, good. Good. Disabilities. Nah. No, that has nothing to do with that, Alfred. It's just to do with intrusive thoughts. That's all. It's the brain's malfunction. Anything can, nothing leads to HOCD. It's just the brain's malfunction. You know, other OCDs eventually could manifest in a different subset of OCD. One could be HOCD, but it's got nothing to do with anything else. It's got nothing to do with you. It's got to do with the malfunction of the brain. I want you to all understand that. And Tambi says, male 23 Qatar, says, I had a car accident a couple of months ago. I walked out with minor cuts and bruises. The car was wasted. Uncle, I have developed a drinking problem over the past few months, and it's causing problems with my parents and friends. Everybody hates me, including myself. Uh-huh. Whenever I am off duty, I drink and stop when I am on duty. When wake up after drinking, I tell myself I'm gonna quit, but as soon as I sober up, I drink again. I'm stuck in this cycle and I don't know what to do. I promised my parents several times that I'm gonna quit, but never kept my promise, and they stopped believing me. And that's what I hate the most about myself. How can I make my parents trust me again? It's not about making your parents trust you again. It's about making you trust yourself. To be able to see the power that never left you and you still have it. So why is it that you don't listen to yourself? Your conscious and your values tell you that this is wrong. And you got to ask it, why is it wrong? Consciousness. My super consciousness, why is it wrong? My gatekeeper, why is it wrong? My wise advocate, why is it wrong that I tell myself I should not drink? Well, then you name them. Well, a little bit of it, maybe a wine glass every few days, may be helpful to older aged people. You're not older age. More than that, actually increases blood pressure and causes all kinds of lack of ability to do normal things and being balanced, and takes away from your alertness and stops you from wanting to be active. You don't see people drunk and they want to say, oh, let's go play tennis, let's go weightlifting, let's go workout, let's go biking. None. When you drink, you just fucking lay over and just die, pretty much. So when you calculate and sum up all these reasons, when you ask yourself, super consciousness, wise advocate, gatekeeper, these are where you keep your sacred values, and your intellect is hardwired in there. Your values are in there. You ask them, why is it that you tell me I shouldn't drink? Because it tells you, right? Drinking is not good for you. But then you don't listen to it. Maybe you need to ask it why. What are the reasons? And then you name those reasons. What it does to your physical body, what it does to your mental awareness, what it does to killing the cells of your brain, what it does, and we need a lot more than that, not less, and what it does to your friends, what it does to the trust level you have of yourself, what it does to accountability of yours, what it does to help you to see that you can do things when you keep failing it, what it does when the trust of your parents that you're so interested in, what it does that it could affect your work. So what the fuck is it good for when it has all these fucking things? Why? Because it takes you out of the reality that you're anxious about, puts you somewhere that no longer time matters, reality is there. You're not conscious of it while the reality is there. You're not conscious of the reality, so your anxiety level is not noticeable. So what is this anxiety level about? Is it possible that you have certain kind of disappointments through your relationships that maybe has made you kind of fed up? Or is it possible that the accident that you have created a certain kind of a fear and anxiety of life, and you're fearful, and you constantly want to not be fearful, and you don't know how to do it because you never addressed the effect of that accident? Maybe. I don't know. I'm spitballing here because I don't know full facts. I suggest to you to make an appointment with a very educated and experienced psychotherapists and explain this to him or her, and get into the effect of that accident on your outlook of life, and the fact that it might have created certain kind of a time strain on you to accomplish the things that you've been wanting to accomplish, such as, I don't know, getting married or whatever it is that you want to accomplish in life, and many different experiences was not credible, so you had to let them go, and that has created a little bit of anxiety in you that time is short now. When am I going to fulfill all that? And then plus the accident thing, that is causing you a little bit of a fear. You got to deal with that. I'm thinking maybe both. The relationship's not didn't go well, and then you haven't found the right girl yet, and you feel a little bit pressured in time, and at the same time you kind of fed up with it and you don't care about it anymore, and then the accident at the same time have gotten you a little bit apprehensive or anxious about life, and you frightened, maybe, I don't know, that you don't want to feel that way, and instead of dealing with it, you are finding some kind of a thing to take you out of that reality so you won't care. You feel safe and secure. I think it's in the psychological security that you can find your answer, and perhaps you talk to your psychotherapist and figure that out, my dear Tambi. The benefits of winning over this is far outweighs the momentary pleasure that you may receive from this feeling of being drunk. So focus on what you're going to gain when you deal with this. The power is going to be unlimited. The trust and accountability and responsibility and confidence will go to the roof. And the friends and the family and so on will see your triumph is sign of your character. Everything comes back to where it's supposed to be, but you got to give priority, and you got to tell yourself why I give this priority, because of this is what drinking does to me. This is what it deprives me from. This is the pressure it puts on me, and also the effects of the experience I had in the accident will be I haven't been able to handle it. That's why I try to escape from it through alcohol and whatnot. These are some of my summations with the limited information that I have here from this situation. I hope that was helpful to you. Sir, how to stop subliminal magic? Sir, how to start training our brain and stop its bullshit? Well, just watch the videos, and by education and educating yourself about the subject, you could be an educated person but not educated in a certain subject, and every subject needs a certain education about it. So learning how the psyche works, learning how the relationship between thoughts and consciousness is, learning about the malfunctions of the brain, learning about the separation between brain, thoughts, and you, and learning about how to rewire through neuroplasticity and the role of neuroscience and neurons and the bridges between the synaptic neurons are, and how they make you good at something and then how also make you forget about something. These are the modifications that is in your command, and you can learn them and do them to your brain. Watch the videos that are pertaining that, and then of course you'll be able to what's the word? Implement those. All right. Api says, I'm very glad to inform you that finally the new girl has said yes to me, and we are about to get engaged soon. Thank you for being here. Great. Good news. Excellent. Api says, hello, I love you. I love you too, Api. That's great news. Well, hopefully she qualifies and she's a kind of girl that you're looking for, and that is something important. And all the blessings for you and her. I wish you all well. And I'm sure you guys have picked each other by first getting to know each other a little bit. And if not, through the engagement time, you will get to know that if you are, compatible or not. And if you're not, try to make it work by being compatible, understanding each other's point of views, and compromising, and honestly compromising, not bullshit compromising just to get through the marriage thing. So put the marriage thing secondary to getting to know each other and being able to compromise and dealing and to look at life from similar angle, and so you will be directed and faced in the same direction together, rather than always rubbing, kind of bouncing elbows and having to have some little bit of a challenge here and there just because your ego takes over and I want to say, oh, I have these are values. The values, whether you have it or not, this or that, just find out what is the effect of these values to your life, and which is more important, your life or these values, so to speak, political viewpoints that at one point could be important to us in life, and at some other point in life we will realize that there are other more important things that I should focus on, and that is my life and what I want to build, rather than focusing my energy and so on to somebody else's and somebody else's, some other political causes that really directly doesn't benefit me, but just because I can't accomplish anything else, I'm just latching onto the cause. That's the easiest way to say I'm accomplished. That's not right. That's not honest. That's being not paying attention to your responsibilities and duties of your immediate life. And it's not, instead, sacrificing it for some kind of a political view. So make sure these things are already hashed out before you guys actually get seriously committed. Otherwise, I guess having said that, um, give you all the blessings in the world and wish you happiness for both of you, health and happiness always. Jorg says, have you been with HOCD yourself? What age? Yes, actually, I experienced it too. And for me, because of the uh, upbringing, strong values about myself and my identity, what I prefer, what I want. So I only looked at them as bad thoughts. I didn't go further. I just said, what the fuck is this? It wasn't like anything that could confuse me because my selections was clear, but this was interference that was unwelcome, and it was just thought of it as a bad thought. Whatever gender you are, you may be faced with some intrusive thoughts, and to you, that could simply be a bad thought. You don't have to interpret what it means, what it could be, what does it have a message. No, there's no message. I didn't know any of these things that I do know now. But to me, at the time, all I cared about is that that's contrary to my interests. So what is it doing here? So my question wasn't that what is it? My question was, what the fuck is it doing here? Saying like, that's not your place. Thoughts, suggestion, images. What's wrong? It's fucked up. So that's all. And that, I guess, was kind of helpful to eventually got rid of it. It took a year. But I didn't give a shit. I always thought about it and didn't know any of these things that I know now. But I always thought about it. It's weird. It's bad thought. Some kind of a fucked up brain. And that's my brain. So fucked up. So, and it is. But the thing is, these are more imaginative brain. They're above average intellect, so to speak. And it is proven actually scientifically that's mostly above average intellect gets OCD or subsets of OCD. And these malfunctions happen, and they are very annoying and obnoxious. But you consider them as statics and not a reality or actuality of you. If you're strong-minded, you will just simply look at them as an intrusion rather than something that, oh, was this what I was? No, none of that. You shouldn't be buying into the bullshit and be influenced by a suggestion, no matter how many million times it shows up. Stand your ground and protect yourself. But unfortunately, it's so strong, the brain is so strong that can make you think that, oh, that is what you've been, and you've been in denial. That's a bullshit that shows up, because that doesn't happen. It's the power of the brain that makes you believe such a thing, even think in this way. It's a thought. All of it is thought. Even your judgment in this way is thoughts. You're using the apparatus of a malfunctioning brain to judge what it is suggesting. Don't. Go out of it and judge it with your values. Then you can't go wrong. You'll see them as what they are, intrusive thoughts. You'll see them as statics and bad thoughts. And then you endure them, and then you learn what to do with the stuff that we're talking about, and you'll get over it. And Happy says, thank you so much for your wonderful wishes and advice. I will take care of that. Thank you. You're quite welcome, Happy. And Tabby says, thank you, Uncle, very much. The reason you mentioned are all correct, and your analysis of disappointments and anxiety are the contributing factor that makes me want to escape reality. Thank you again, dear. Well, you're quite welcome, and I want you to be aware of it and attend to it. It's going to be too bad if with this wisdom that you have, you don't put it to work and command your life to the direction that it should go, the That makes you proud of you. And you can do that, I know. So my friends, it's now already been 1 hour, 39 minutes, and I think we've answered all the questions that we have here. So I guess we'll have another live talk tomorrow at 1 p.m. Vancouver time and tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Vancouver time. So I look forward to talk to you then again then. In the meantime, be good to yourselves and the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.